Hello everyone and welcome again. In this video I'm going to be talking about healers and what kind of responsibility healers have. Now I know that some people will have an aversion towards the term healers, so I understand that they do not see things exactly that way. So what I'm referring to is professions such as massage therapy, doctors, even people that do energy work such as Reiki, which is something I'm going to be covering a little bit more in depth about Reiki and other healing modalities that have to do with energy healing. But right now I want to focus on what is the responsibility that healers have as far as what they do as far as their work. I believe that there are things going on right now where healers are getting into fields just because of the money that they can get. And of course, healers should be compensated for the work that they do, if they do heal, that is. But it becomes a problem when your main focus is to make money and you're willing to do just enough to your clients or patients or whatever you call them so that they keep on coming back to you. So you make sure you don't go too far, so you'll lose your client. And that's the problem that I want to address right now, is where professionals that do just enough just to alleviate some of the suffering that their clients have, but they ensure that they will be holding on to these clients. Now, if you look at the article that I posted, where the Hippocratic Oath, where the whole doctors and medical field got started, the most important part is to do no harm. In other words, is to say that not to make things worse. So if we're giving some of our clients medication that will make things worse in any way, whether it's making the situation that they currently have worse or giving them another situation which will complicate their life, I don't consider that healing at all. What I would say is that these people are very misguided in what they're doing, and I would like the professionals that do stuff like this to just step down and to let people that actually care about helping others so that they can actually have a way to go about and making things better for their clients. Now, I'm not attacking any specific doctors or professions. I'm just saying that this is found everywhere within medical field. There's some in massage therapy that do it, where they just basically help their clients enough, but they don't really go far enough so that they will no longer be needed. And of course, some people are scared to be able to make the ends meet, the financial ends meet. And so that's why people do things such as just give enough so that they will feel some alleviation of their symptoms, but they will be coming back in order to get back right after a certain amount of time. And I'm hoping that you agree with me that there is a big problem when people do things such as this, and it's very frustrating for me to see people that go into something where they just go in it for the money and they don't really care about the end result of helping others become better and reduce the symptoms and the suffering that they have. So in that way, what we should hope for in a healer is someone that will help us long term. Now, this doesn't mean that it'll happen after a first session and you should be all okay after your first session and then you no longer will need the healer. Sometimes things take some time, and that's more than okay. The problem is if you're doing it because you you want to hang on to your clients. So I wish that people would go about things a little bit more on the honest side, and to not do things so they can keep people dependent on them. And that's where I want to make sure that people understand, and I'm not bashing, like I said, any field such as doctors in general or psychologists in general, which there is a big problem with psychologists that basically they do not help people enough, or they do just a little bit just to keep their clients, so they make sure that their clients will come back. And I hope that you agree that, this should not be the case. People that go about and go into a field such as medical or in the psychology field, they should be very much concerned about making things better. And if it's not that way, why are people like this still in business? We need to let go of doctors and psychologists, or whatever it may be, people that do Reiki, that just basically hang on to their customers just because they don't want to have any financial problems. So, with that being said, I understand that there are some times that, like I said earlier, that there are things that do take time. And there are certain things that there are certain problems where people will absolutely need the help of a professional for a very extended period of time. If they have heart problems and they need to be constantly monitored every week or so in order to assure that their heart is remaining is healthy and is not experiencing any problems. I'm not referring to stuff like this. There are certain situations where we absolutely need to keep on and having regular checkups with people that will help us. What I'm referring to, the people that are dishonest and they don't go far enough intentionally so that they keep their clients to themselves and they're able to, profit off of them. So as I said, I'm going to talk about a little bit more in the future. That is probably not in the close next coming days, but I'm going to talk about like people that do stuff like Reiki and massage therapy and other things related to healing modalities, and where they do the same things. Also, there's another thing that happens often is that people often get into something where they're not really totally prepared to do, and that in itself creates more problems if you're not really well equipped. You need to make sure that you don't make a bigger mess. And it goes back to do no harm. So I'm hoping that you see that the healer's responsibility is to make things better, but that doesn't mean that you should try to hang on to your clients for dear life. So I'm going to leave a link to my article that I wrote on my website, and also a link to my Facebook page. So if anybody has any comments or questions, please feel free to post them on either YouTube or my Facebook page. And until next time.